Okay, I'm joined here by Luke Garrard before we travel to Farnborough tomorrow evening. Luke, before we touch on that, any final reflection on that Aveley win on Saturday?
Not really, mate. Moved quickly on to Farnborough. Obviously, nice to get 3 points. Would have been nicer to have a bigger deficit in terms of the goal return, but now we're in the business end of the season now. It's all about getting 3 points on the board and moving on to the next one.
Yeah, and we saw Femi Alisami and Tom Whelan taking off on Saturday. Any update on those two as well as some of the other injuries we currently have?
Wheelo, fine. He's trained today. Slight dead leg that he's nursing. It tightened up. Femi, unfortunately, picked up a hamstring injury. We believe he'll be out for a few weeks. It's obviously a big loss. He sets up the goal and he's a experienced player within our ranks. Nice that we've got Jaden Richardson back. So he'll go back into a squad. We've got personnel still not even in the 16 that we can call upon. So yes, it's not great getting injuries to certain personnel. But in terms of the squad size, it aids us, especially in this period.
Yeah, and we faced Farnborough back in early November. Are you expecting any differences in the side we face tomorrow compared to the one we defeated 3-1?
I think there's going to be differences from both sides. I watched the game back. I see that obviously the team that we selected for that game and the team that they selected, he only named 3 on the bench on Saturday against Slough. Obviously he has his crosses to bear, as do we. But yeah, no, look, we're both wanting 3 points. Obviously they're going to try and have a last-ditch challenge to get into the playoffs, and it's going to be a big game for them. But for us, it's about our agenda and how we go about our business and making sure that the focus is heavy on us and delivering on the game plan.
Yeah, and would you like to see more clinicality?
Yeah, obviously you get the report back from Saturday and you're getting over 20 shots in a game. You're having over 14 shots in the 18-yard box and you're only getting 1 goal. So, yeah, and especially against a side in Aveley that have that menacing long throw. The size of their team is huge and you're fearful that you're going to rue your missed chances. So it's always nice to have a bit of a buffer when it comes to the scoreline. I can't question what we've done in that forward area because our goal return's been very positive. Obviously, we've got the joint best goal difference in the league, and it may come down to that positions you higher up in the table come the end of the month. So we need to make sure that we have that clinicality, we have that ruthlessness that when presented with a chance tomorrow, can we take it? Because they're a side that have their threats and we need to make sure that we're right on our game to come away with 3 points.
Yeah, and in recent interviews you've mentioned about not wanting to put any pressure on the lads. Has that kind of been the case of, during training and in conversations with each player, just keeping composed as we go into these final 9 games?
Yeah, it's obviously there's an internal pressure being from myself, the staff and the club itself, but players don't play well with pressure. They need to have a freedom, and that was my messaging on Saturday. That'll be my messaging again tomorrow evening. There's got to be a freedom to go and express himself, go and play in the right way, go and stick to what we've asked them to do and try and implement it to the best of their abilities. They have a group, or we have a group in the change room that is experienced, and I believe that they can sift through the pressure and embrace it and go on to, hopefully, fingers crossed, pick up another 3 points tomorrow evening and continue the run we're currently on. Spoke about it. We've got 13 points in our last 6 games. It's a decent return. Obviously, we need to make up for the results prior to that, because to go and pick up them losses has dented us slightly, but we have 9 games left. The biggest game's tomorrow evening against Farnborough, and we need to make sure that we're right on our game to warrant coming away with 3 points.
Thank you, Luke.